at the xFutures show at 49 Call in Toronto. This is the Strategic Foresight Innovation program at OCAD University's annual showcase of work. And I'm going to walk through the time machines. These are highlights from some of the experiential features projects that happened this past year in the SFI program at OCAD. So let's take a look. We have the conspiracy wall from the Futures of Open Media project, which was a scenario set in 2030 in Canada where cyber terrorism has resulted in a closed and heavily regulated internet. We also have a few other projects highlighted here digitally. The Futures of Healthcare Delivery, which is the video that you're seeing, which showcases a company called Dignity Departures, which is basically an end-of-life service provider. This video also showcases the Futures of Climate Change and a Futures of Social Housing project that happened this year in the Time Machines projects. Ontario 1-to-1 depicts the futures of discovering, accessing, and navigating social services in Toronto in 2045. Next door we have the Complete Me store, which is a place where you can buy a variety of pills to help manage your varying moods. It's a Futures of Mental Health where what we currently understand as mental illness is now understood as being within sort of the normal range of mental states one might experience throughout their life. Over here we have reruns of a future television program called Adopt-a-thon featured on the CBC that highlights mature adoptees, teens who get to choose an adoptive parent or mentor. And you can watch that in this little television lounge on the future of adoption. The Futures of Open Media was showcased with this project set in 2035, where all entertainment is derived from consumer-based data, in this case through a studio called Your Stories Studios, and the original Time Machine was a tour of the studios. In this case, we've recreated some of the shows and content creators who are responsible for creating these programs of the future. There's also an exhibition highlight called The Futures of Nature, which is a scenario set in 2040 in a time where nature's become scarce and technology dominates. And this is the Nature Deficit Disorder Clinic, where in the original you would come in, sign in, sort of check in, and then you move into a test or treatment room. In this case, you pop on an Oculus and a pair of headphones, and you sit immersed in this scenery of nature, listening to a soundtrack that features birds chirping and sort of techno undertones. And upon conclusion of the visit, you make your way over here to the dispensary, where you can see highlights of brain scans seemingly taking place while people are watching the video, and perhaps get a prescription for 1, 2, or 3 of these meds that are designed to help manage your nature deficit disorder symptoms. And then last but not least, as we enter back out into this space, the Futures of Media group created a time machine set in 2030 in Toronto in a world dominated by media consumption, and their original scenario was in the form of a parents' night at a school, but featured this device that they designed called the iDefender, which is essentially an app and a pair of glasses that work to block out ads from your environment. So these could be worn by a student or a child, and when viewing the screen, they limit the view of ads, revealing only the original sort of content that's not considered advertising. So that concludes the walkthrough of Time Machines 2015.